Hey guys, welcome back to this bonus episode of The Well-Rounded Dude. We're a men's lifestyle channel. We cover a whole bunch of topics. And this week we're going to cover Zack Snyder's Justice League. This review is going to be filled with spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, go watch Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max and then come right back. Okay, so you guys know, I am a huge, unapologetic Batman fan. I love DC Comics, I love Justice League, I loved the animated series that came out in the 2000s, and to be honest, when the movie came out in 2017, it seems so long ago, when I saw the theatrical version of Justice League, I wasn't terribly disappointed. Now, I know I'm in the minority on that. But I was very excited to hear that Zack Snyder was going to come back and finish the movie and release his version of it. I was super excited. And to be honest, I'm also a fan of Batman v Superman. I happen to think it's a good movie. I happen to think that it gets a lot of unfair criticism. Again, I know I'm in the minority on that. We're not going to dwell too much on those other movies. We're going to just talk about the new, or Zack Snyder's Justice League compared to Joss Whedon's Justice League, which came out in 2017. Zack Snyder's Justice League starts off completely differently than the theatrical version. We get a replay of the events of the final moments of Batman v Superman, with Doomsday killing Superman and Superman's scream of pain as it goes through the world. It's heard in Metropolis, in Gotham. We see it heard in Atlantis and on Themyscira, Wonder Woman's island, and we see it awaken a mother box. So the mother boxes are, again, the thing that the Justice League is trying to keep away from Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf was trying to get all three so he can terraform Earth to make it habitable for Darkseid. So Darkseid doesn't like grassy green structures. He likes fire shooting from the earth and such. That was one of the things that was different in this movie, is that Darkseid was just briefly mentioned in the theatrical version. He's shown here. As a matter of fact, they even changed that big battle between the Amazons, the Atlanteans, and the humans. In the theatrical version, it was them fighting Steppenwolf, and he lost, and that's what threw him out of favor with Darkseid. In this, they're fighting Darkseid, and that I thought was a very cool change for us to see, like, Darkseid fighting, and we get to see him kill a Green Lantern, which again is cool. So what I love about this movie, about this cut of the movie, is that we get a lot more explanation for the characters, right? I mean, it's obvious. It's a 4-hour movie compared to the 2-hour theatrical version we got before. We get to see a lot of things, such as, like, why Steppenwolf chose the Russian reactor as his base. He's like, the ground is toxic, and it's good for the mother boxes. She needs it. She likes it, or something to that effect. Every Justice League member gets their moment to shine. It's awesome. All 6 of them do. And actually, there's a bonus one. Martian Manhunter appears. I love Martian Manhunter, and I think it's awesome. He has a couple of cameos in the movie. He doesn't fight with the League, but it's very cool that we actually get to see Martian Manhunter in this movie. The two things that changed a lot was we got to see a little bit of more heart from Cyborg. Cyborg is one of the characters that a lot of people had complaints with in Joss Whedon's cut, and I can understand that. Like he didn't have much to do, but I mean, he's really the one you really get a sense of what he's lost by becoming Cyborg. You get to see, like, there's this whole football scene where you get to see, like, how good of an athlete he was, and the accident that caused his father to use the mother boxes to turn him into Cyborg, and, like, what he lost, his humanity, but also what he gained, and how hard that is for him to turn it off, or potentially to turn it off. We get to see the Flash. He, that whole scene with Iris that was supposed to happen in the movie that had gotten cut before, it's restored, and he doesn't know who she is, but it's a cool, funny scene. But to me, the real heart scene for Flash is like at the end. Again, spoilers, if you haven't seen it, go watch Justice League, the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, and then come back to this, because I'm going to tell you about it right now. At the end, we see he's the key to stopping the mother boxes from coming together, and he messes up at first, and he gets hurt, and he gets the wind knocked out of him, and he sucks it up, and then he starts running, and he changes time so he can fix his mistake and help the Justice League win. We still get that awesome Wonder Woman fight in Paris. I think it was Paris that she was in. Overseas, we'll say. And there's a great line in there after she saves the kids and she's talking to them, and then there's this little girl who is upset, and Diana says to her, like, "Are you okay, princess?" And she's like, the little girl looks at her and is like, Can I be like you when I grow up? And Diana looks at her and goes, "You can be anything you want to be." And I think that it's like such a cool line. It's great to see. Aquaman, he's very cool. I will say the one thing that I think I like better in the theatrical version over the Snyder cut is when Aquaman saves the dude that's out in the ocean. And we actually get to see that, that's a very cool scene, I will admit, with the guy. He's in this boat, and it's in the middle of a storm, and his boat is sinking, and he's calling for help or whatever, and then all of a sudden you see like Aquaman stand up like on the boat, and he saves him, and then he takes the guy to the bar and throws him on the table. The one thing I think was better in the theatrical version was the theme song. Well, it wasn't a theme song, but it was a song playing. It was a hard rock song playing while Aquaman drank his whiskey while he was going back out into the water. I think that was better than what happened or what Zack Snyder used in his film. It's the same scene, it's just different music, and I think the hard rock theme made it more badass, but that's just my personal opinion. Superman in black. I love seeing Superman in a black costume. I know there's a lot of people that are, oh no, he's got to be in the red and the blue and it's traditional, and there's going to be a lot of people that complain like, oh, why does everything Zack Snyder does have to be dark and gritty and such. Dark and gritty works for this movie. I like it. To be honest, I'm tired of the cookie cutter, happy sappy tone of some other superhero movies, but this was good. This was great, and he's worn a black costume in the comics. Get over yourselves. The black costume is cool. I like the red and blue as well. It's a classic, but I like him in black, and it's cool that he wears this costume. And we get to see some other Superman costumes in this too. If you guys were paying attention, you'll see some pretty cool Easter eggs of some Superman costumes. So some other things that I loved about this movie. There is no Russian family in this movie, which is awesome. If you guys remember the theatrical cut, there's this Russian family who's can't get away from the stuff that's going on with Steppenwolf. That was a Joss Whedon thing. He kind of wanted to show what it was like for people on the ground. It just didn't work, and it's not in this cut, so that's a good thing. Another thing I loved, I think I talked about it a little bit before, but we'll touch on it again, is the scene with Martian Manhunter where we first see him. He takes the shape of Martha Kent, and he goes and he talks to Lois and tries to help her get over her grief. And it was such a great scene, because they show us who Martian Manhunter is, and it, again, spoiler alert, if you're watching this and you haven't seen Zack Snyder's Justice League, go watch that before you watch this. Seriously, you guys, I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but, I want to talk about it too. So, and this is kind of my therapy. Um, it's, the character Henry Lennox. He was I think he was a general. And he was in Man of Steel. I forget what position he had. He was the guy that at the end of Man of Steel, when Superman throws down the satellite that was following him, or some kind of drone or whatever, and he asks Superman if he's stupid and tells him that was a expensive piece of equipment. And he was in Batman v Superman 2. That one I know he was a general and he got promoted and such. But Martian Manhunter is him. Long story short. And it was cool to see that, he actually cared. Like, he took the time to try to comfort Lois. I thought that was a great scene. Also, too, I loved the ending fight scene. And another time I'm going to tell you guys, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Zack Snyder's Justice League, go watch it, come back to this. I love the ending fight scene. I love it with them teaming up and fighting Steppenwolf. And I love that, the portal opens up and there's Darkseid and Granny Goodness and Desaad, all evil characters, some of my favorite bad guys in the DC universe, standing there looking at the League, and then Wonder Woman decapitates Steppenwolf and they toss him into Apocalypse back at Darkseid, and the League just gathers and stares at him. It is such a badass moment. I love it. And, just Darkseid staring back and getting pissed. It's great. So let's talk about the epilogue, because a lot of people are talking about that now. They're talking about the Knightmare scene. We get an extended look at that. And to be honest, it's cool. I like another look at it. It's something that they reference earlier on in the movie where Batman tells Wonder Woman, he goes, I had a vision where Barry Allen was standing right here telling me that Lois Lane was the key and such. So he remembers, he's like, I thought it was a dream, and then he has another nightmare sequence, but this time he's there with Cyborg, Flash, and Flash is wearing the armor he was wearing in BVS, and he's standing there with Deathstroke, which is cool. I love Deathstroke as a character, and I'm glad that they were able to use him in this. And Mira's there with Arthur's trident, and obviously something bad happened to Arthur. There's some dialogue, but the key scene that everybody's talking about is Jared Leto makes an appearance as the Joker in this, and him and Batman exchange some dialogue. And I've seen some people have some weird takes on it, like it made them feel weird, like they didn't like the dialogue, especially from Batman, because they think it takes away from Batman's character. Personally, it's not in Batman's character to say the things he did, that, telling the Joker he's going to kill him and make it slow and so he suffers and whatnot. I will offer this as a little bit of a brain food for you guys that are on the fence about it. This is in a world where humanity is pretty much dead, so the rules change. Take it as what you will. We'll probably never get more. I mean, depending on how this movie does, and I'm thinking is doing pretty good so far as of this taping. It's getting great reviews, so I'm thinking that maybe we'll get a Justice League sequel. But we may never see the Nightmare sequence again, the Nightmare world. We may never get to see that again. And, it was a great way to have some dialogue between Batman and the Joker. We didn't get to see any of that in Suicide Squad. And, it was a great way to fit Leto's Joker in. Another thing I loved is the other Martian Manhunter scene. He shows up at the end to Wayne Manor right after Bruce wakes up from his nightmare sequence, and he talks about Darkseid knowing Darkseid's going to attack again and that he wants in on the fight. And Bruce is like, oh yeah, great. Welcome to the team, you. We meet on Monday. Well, he doesn't say that, but pretty much welcoming him, and it was great. It was very cool. If there was one thing I would change, I would probably have that scene before the scene where Alfred and Bruce and Diana walk into the burnt out Wayne Manor and talk about building the Hall of Justice there. That's just me personally, but still, it's great to have that in there, and have that as the last scene gives us a little spark of hope that these stories could continue in some form or another. 4 hours flies by really quick. To say that it is a movie that you've seen before, you know the story going into it, but there's so much in it that you don't. It feels like a movie that you haven't seen. Honestly, this movie, in my opinion, could replace the theatrical version in canon, especially with the movies that have come out so far with Aquaman and Birds of Prey and Shazam. With the movies that have come out, there's no reason why the Snyder's Justice League couldn't replace the theatrical one. I'm going to put a pin in it there. Should you watch Zack Snyder's Justice League? Absolutely. You guys would be doing yourself a disservice if you don't see it, especially if you didn't like the theatrical version. This is a breath of fresh air, and there's just so much in there that I can't even fit into this video, and I don't want to spoil it any more than I already have for you guys. So please do yourself a favor, check it out, take the time. It's broken up into like 7 parts, so you can watch the 7 parts and each part and take a break. You don't have to sit through 4 hours all at once. That's one of the beautiful things about it. All right, guys. So thank you for letting me talk about this movie. Please drop a like, comment, share. Let me know if you watch it, what your favorite part was. Let me know if I'm wrong, if you disagree with me. I hope you don't, but people have their own opinions. Please be sure to check us out on social media. Like, comment, subscribe, share, do all the social media things. Help me fight the YouTube algorithm so I can bring you more content like this and what we normally do with men's lifestyle, fashion, grooming, entertainment, and such, okay? Check us out at thewellroundeddude.com. Check out our merch page. Dude15 gets you 15% off your total purchase. Alright, guys? We will catch you in the next one. Again, thank you. Please check out Justice League. You won't be disappointed. Take care.